Did you give me shit for being ready on time?
Yeah.
So, I'm like, I'm ready right at 9. What the fuck?
Because usually, like, Mike says, like, hey, 2 minutes, and it's, like, past the time we're normally going to be ready. So it's just funny to me that he was ready technically on time. I was going to do one that says, I'm Joe, I'm ready early, but then I was like, nah, I'm going to leave it at just the Mike one. It'll be funnier that way.
It was relatively funny that way.
Burnt him.
Yeah, you did.
Got him.
Got him.
Got him good. So how you guys been this week?
Tired?
Yeah, right?
I've been slowly dying.
Aren't we all?
I'm about to say, it's just life at that point, right?
Yeah. It's what happens when you hit, what, 35? 36?
35, yeah.
35, yeah.
It all fell apart at 34. It was just,
Yeah.
30 was rough. I got to straighten out. And then 34 is like, hey, let me see your nuts. I'm going to kick them. And they just kicked me right in the nut sacks. I said, life, stop it.
Wait until you hit 40.
I'm not going to make it at this point.
Damn. Welcome to the Dark Podcast.
It's fine.
Assisted suicide still a thing?
I think in Canada.
Yeah.
No, in Canada they have healthcare.
Yeah, but I think it's included in healthcare.
Oh.
I don't know. I actually was reading something about it like sometime the last
Joe.
month. No, not like that.
Jesus, bro.
Like there was a bill that they were trying to pass or something like that that would allow for it or something. You know.
Okay. I mean, I guess, but
Anyway,
seems a little bit rough.
speaking of rough, so it looks like we're not going to be getting the Xbox games, or I should say the Blizzard games on Game Pass this year.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, there's still no date, according to Phil Spencer, of when they're going to hopefully get stuff done. But they said because of the way the merger went, where they couldn't just hop into Blizzard and get all the T's crossed and I's dotted and stuff like that, that it's going to still take them a long time to go in there and do that. So they don't expect until sometime next year that we'll be getting Activision games on Game Pass. So that sucks.
It does suck.
Right?
Well, it's probably because of like contracts and stuff with PlayStation and shit, and probably
I can
Steam
also
too.
imagine not just with PlayStation, but with the actual developers of the games and maybe even licensings and stuff like that. Using music and stuff like that. I can imagine that there's got to be some sort of clause in there that has to include Game Pass. How do you distribute how much money they make and whatnot? So
It's true, because you got to cover all those revenue
exactly.
losses.
Mm-hmm. So that's a bummer. Was really hoping for this at least this Christmas.
Yeah.
But good things come to those who wait.
Okay.
No? Okay. No. All right. Good enough.
No, Joe.
All right.
Rush into it all the time.
Rushing into everything.
Headlong every single time.
That's Mike's motto.
Hell yeah.
No, Mike's motto is go in soft.
Well, yeah, it's another Mike motto.
Oh, okay.
I got so many, dude.
Yes, you have so many. I know we were talking about, Mike was saying how much he's not really excited about most comic book adaptations that are coming out recently. Apparently there is a reboot of I'm literally Kick-Ass in the works.
Yeah, Matthew Vaughn wants to redo it.
Mm-hmm.
He said he wants to make it rated R, and I was like,
Wasn't the first one rated R?
I'm pretty sure they were. It's why they didn't do as good as they did, because people, for some reason, shied away from rated R comic book movies back then.
Right.
It had to take Deadpool to come along and be like, hey,
Look,
enjoyment.
right? But so that's apparently in the works right now. I'm trying to remember if there was how far they were. I think it was mostly just like in the planning stage of it.
Yeah, because I believe the rights reverted back to him and Mark, if I remember correctly.
hmm and then, of course, I think in this article they mentioned that they would want to have the original cast like make some sort of like
Cameo.
cameo in it, but like they're not going to cast the same people in the same roles yet.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Aaron Taylor Johnson's a tiny bit older than what the late teenaged,
Right.
would need to be.
Obviously, yeah.
Doesn't that feel early? Like, I know it's been out for a while, but
What's up, Mike? What'd you say?
it seems like pretty fast to reboot it.
This movie came out 10 years ago.
13 years ago.
Sorry, 13 years ago.
But yes, I mean, I agree with you.
But like outside of the kids, everyone else could still play the same role. You know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you could still have Nicolas Cage playing Big Daddy. He might be a little bit older and gruffer looking, but yeah, I think you could still get away with it. I think in this case, the reboot might work because, like Cody said, when they made the movie, it just didn't pull in the people that it probably would now after getting rated R Deadpools and stuff like that. So you reboot it and you go, look, let's try this again and see if we can make a franchise out of it again. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I'm semi-excited for it, It'd be nice to see some different property come up instead of just following Marvel or DC's comic book universe.
It's true. I mean, he could have picked another Mark Miller project. I mean, there's a few he could choose from.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I'd like to see what's that one? The vampires. Not Midnight.
I can literally think
Midnight
of some
Club?
of the covers of the issues. You guys collected that stuff. I didn't collect it.
I want the time travel one.
Oh, Chrononauts.
Knots, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that one.
That'd be a dope one to do.
That'd be pretty rad.
What was the name of the vampire one?
It's not. For some reason, Midnight Club jumps into my brain, but I don't think that's correct.
That doesn't sound correct. Unless, wait, am I thinking? Did Scott Snyder do a vampire?
Oh,
run?
American Vampire.
American Vampire? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Hold on, I'll find it in a second.
'Cause I know I didn't collect any of those.
Nightclub. That's what it's called.
Okay, Nightclub. Okay.
Nightclub. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think vampire to me is as much as a pull as doing something different.
Yeah, but they
So
they
I
wear
would be more
they
on
wear
board with-
luchador masks.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say with that.
See, Boom. Got him.
I don't know why when you say luchador masks and vampires, I just immediately think of From
Nacho
Dusk Till
Libre.
Dawn.
It's not bad. I don't know why you would think that, but Spanish heritage and vampires, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Speaking of luchadors, Mike, did you see Ray's mask last night on SmackDown?
Yeah, that shit was gnarly.
Yeah, it was made by the dude that made Bray's masks.
I'm sorry, the what?
The dude that made Bray's.
Dude, I thought you said the Jew that made. I was like, Jesus, Cody.
Ooh, wow.
I don't. He might be, but I don't know.
I thought you said that. I was all like, God damn, bro.
Speaking of which, there was a dude with a Hitler mustache on SmackDown last week, and I think they removed him halfway through the show.
We call it a Chaplin mustache, sir. It's a Chaplin mustache.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Made famous by Charlie Chaplin and ruined by another person.
Yep.
Trying to look up Rey Mysterio's mask.
I'll wait for you to find it.
Buy a lot of them.
Oh yeah, he's got so many. I mean, he has a Louis Vuitton one for Christ's sake.
That makes sense.
Rey Mysterio.
What color? What was the color scheme or something?
All black.
All black, he says. Images.
Let's see if we can.
Is this Batman looking thing?
That's the one.
Mist Essis?
God bless you.
I know, right? Well, if it's the one I'm looking at, you can actually buy it on Amazon.
That's weird.
Right?
I didn't realize they were selling them that quickly. Plus, I don't think
Why
that's the
not?
one.
Capitalize, man. Capitalism.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, what in the world's happening here?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
Oh, my phone apparently doesn't like the way I type.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool mask last night. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm getting ready to hype the match with him and Logan Paul.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just sounds like one of those things that, fine, I guess it's going to happen as like just a spectacle of a match, but it sounds like Rey Mysterio is just going to literally run around him and just kick his ass.
Nah, man, it's surprisingly so. Logan's actually really, really good.
Really?
It's super.
Unfortunately.
I knew he was gonna be too. Like that first match he had a couple years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, this fucking dick's gonna be real good at this. He could just, I don't know, I just had that vibe. And then sure enough, that match he actually fucking killed it. And then, like his second match was like main eventing a Saudi show with Roman Reigns. Like second or third match ever.
Damn.
And he fucking did great. Now, granted, everyone he's been in the ring with is a top notch.
Right.
Like, we'll cover him for all of his shortcomings and stuff like that. But he's more than held his own. Was just super.
As
bummer.
other younger wrestlers that are coming up, do you think that they're pissed that
Yeah.
he's getting way more attention than they
Yeah,
are?
yeah, 100%. Because there's dudes on the roster that can do what he does. It's just he obviously brings in another crowd
Mm-hmm.
of eyes. So that's why. But at the very least, he's good. Like this is always happened. WWE has always had a level of celebrity to go into their shows, dating back to, I mean, even before the first WrestleMania, they would do shit like this. But I mean, the first WrestleMania had it with Mr. T. You know what I mean? He had no business being in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But he was on the 18 and fucking uber popular and came
Right.
off the Rocky movies and all that. And you could track it, and every now and then, so I can't remember what WrestleMania it was, but like Lawrence Taylor actually main evented WrestleMania, the football player for the Giants.
Okay.
Like all time great defensive football player.
Like
for
the
Giants.
name sounded familiar, but it was just like
Yeah, I saw your
couldn't
head.
place it. Couldn't quite place it. It was just like Lawrence Taylor. Was he an actor or something? It was like,
He did act later on.
okay, maybe that's where I
He
know
was
him
in
from.
Any Given Sunday. He was pretty
Okay.
good in that. With some other stuff. He main evented a WrestleMania, which was pretty rough that he main evented one, but he was the most popular athlete in the world at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened recently, and it actually started with Stephen Amell from Arrow, when he got in there and did a celebrity match, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, he's like good," because he's athletic, and he was also a fan, so he took it seriously.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, Pat McAfee had a match, and he was a punter, but an athlete
Mm-hmm.
who, again, massive fan growing up, took it very seriously and fucking murdered it. And then the most shocking, surprising one as of late was Bad Bunny
Oh, really?
had a match, and it was, I I understood why they were doing it, because even though all the fucking hillbilly white fans in wrestling on Twitter was like, this is so stupid, nobody cares. I'm like, Bad Bunny's literally the most popular artist in the world right now. And just because you don't listen to him doesn't mean everyone else listens to him.
Right.
He came in and was, I would describe it as astonishing good. Like I couldn't believe it halfway through the match. I was like, I can't believe what's happening right now. And then Logan Paul came in, and sure enough, I want to say it was on the same show, right, Cody? When Bad Bunny and Logan Paul was on the same.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
That first Mania a couple years ago, and he was great too, and he just kept coming back and doing his thing. So as annoying as he is in real life, he's actually kind of tailor made for WWE, and he's just also has this other world where he's fucking insanely popular. I kind of hate it though.
What type of role does he play? Is he a face, a heel, or?
He's definitely a bad guy now.
Uh-huh.
They were trying to push him as a good guy in this first couple matches.
Doesn't sound right.
And the crowd was like, "Oh, we're shocked that you're good, but we don't want to like you." Like, it was a very weird. I didn't know why they're trying to push it. Like, it seemed pretty obvious. Like, just make him a bad guy and let him run.
Yeah.
And his last couple matches, or his last match for sure, he took that role on. And then, of course, like, against Rey Mysterio, there's no bigger in reputation, no bigger good guy than Rey Mysterio.
Right.
So yeah, it's gonna piss a lot of people off when he wins.
Do you think he's gonna win?
Yeah, I think he's gonna win. Yeah, because I think he's gonna win.
That pissed me off. I don't watch wrestling, and that pissed me off.
If, as a wrestling fan, reading the tea leaves, I feel like he's gonna win, defend it once somewhere against somebody, whatever, talk a whole lot of shit, and probably lose it at Mania. Mm-hmm. Would be the move, I think.
Okay.
You think they give him the belt for that long?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, is he going to be somebody that's going to stick around for a while?
No.
Or is this just a publicity thing?
He's spot shows. Like he might do a couple weeks in a row, and then he'll disappear for a couple weeks, and he'll show up at like a bigger show. Yeah.
Okay.
Or actually, he has nothing in real life that I know of coming up that's big, because he just had his fight. He doesn't have another one scheduled, so he might do a little semi full-time run right now, at least the TV shows. But he won't be doing like house shows and stuff like that. If he's week to week, it'll only be TV.
It would make sense. I mean, he's more a personality that would work for TV rather than just a house show type thing. Yeah. I don't know. That upsets me.
Yeah.
It upsets a lot of people.
Well, just knowing the type of person that he is just like, how does this type of person have so much fame?
Yeah.
You know?
And why is he good? It was the good part that really pissed me off. I was like, God damn it.
Right? You could really hate on him and justify your hate if he sucked at it. But you're like, God damn it, you're actually pretty good with this.
It's true. It's true.
You know, it's a natural con artist and showmanship in him, I guess.
Old school wrestling, baby.
Right?
Lifestyle.
Right? I want to ask you guys, have you been watching any horror shows and movies and stuff since we were in the month of October?
That's a Cody question.
Actually,
yeah, I know you don't like horror stuff.
No, we watched Haunted Mansion the other night. Not the Eddie Murphy one, the new one.
Oh, so you went to the new one?
No, it's on Disney Plus now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even think it was actually out in theaters yet.
It came out in theaters like in March, because that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that at all. How was it?
It's not bad. It's actually pretty fun. There's some pretty rough CG moments in it, but they try to do a lot. but for the most part, like the story is really good. There's actually a lot of really emotional stuff in it, like more than I thought they would put into a Haunted Mansion movie. But the story they built behind the lore of the Haunted Mansion and why the ghosts are there is pretty neato. Everyone's really funny in it, and there's like some really funny twists and stuff in it. There's they definitely hit all like the staples of the ride, I guess you could say. Even down to like the moving chair thing
Okay.
you're in the ride. They do a moment in the movie where the people are sitting in certain chairs and they get moved around. It's pretty funny.
How's Danny DeVito in it?
Oh, he's so great, dude. He's like they have him playing a kind of a nutcase. He's this professor who's obsessed with haunted mansions, yeah, haunted places. And the first time they meet with him, they end up at like a Benihana's type place,
Okay.
and he's catching the shrimp that the dude's throwing, and he does like 4 in a row. It's just
Alright.
and the thing is, the other thing part of it too, like they're in, it's set in Louisiana is where it's set at, and you see him, so they go to visit him. He's in his classroom, and he instantly goes, "If you're here to talk about changing your grade, you can forget it." But it's like the two people that are there are like Owen Wilson and Lakeith Stanfield, who are clearly not the age of like college students. And one of them is dressed like a priest. So like, you know, it's like, but like he just jumps to it, and so that was funny. But when they jumps to Benihana, Paige even brought it up. He's dressed in the same suit he was wearing, but he has a clear like raincoat and hat on over it, but he's inside.
But he's at a Benihana.
Yeah. So like obviously like he went outside at one point, but he never took it off. So he's just sitting there at one of the tables, and he's just dressed in his suit with completely clear like raincoat and hat on.
Well, you don't want to get any Benihana splashed all over you.
Yeah. It was just strange, and then like later on they do it, like he's wearing it again. You're like, what the hell?
It's like a Gallagher show.
Yeah. But it's actually pretty funny. Lot, like I said, a lot of really emotional stuff, and they didn't just go for like, you know, they actually put story into. I mean, it starts off real sad. You realize if you're paying attention, like what's going on. You're like, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact they're making me feel things this early in this movie. But there's some pretty interesting little twists and stuff in it. But the mansion's pretty cool because obviously they make it look like the facade of the ride, and then the house will like magically transform when they're in it and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool. They do the like the stretching hallway. They do the stretching ceiling bit with the pictures or the paintings and stuff like that. What else do they do? The ghosts are like you kind of see the paintings react to different things, things like that. So it's pretty cool. It's a fun little time. I mean, it definitely wasn't the best, but it was way better than that piece of shit Eddie Murphy one that came out
Wow.
like 20 years ago.
Never actually saw the Eddie Murphy one.
Actually, I don't even know. Mike, what year did that come out? You're a big Eddie Murphy fan. Was that 2003, something like that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
03.
No,
Sure.
it wasn't that long ago.
Let me research it.
That movie came out,
Beep, boop, beep.
I would say, like 2015, 2016. Something like that.
I
It
just
was
guessed.
not
I guess
early
that's 20 years. I don't know.
03.
Oh fuck! I was
03?
right.
03.
Boom. Haha.
That says
Suck it, nerd.
That's weird.
I'm better than you.
I mean, I'm guessing at the dates that Eddie Murphy movies comes out, I guess.
Yeah.
That's quite the talent you have there.
Hey, it's at least a talent.
Yeah, that's true. My brother and I watched The Pope's Exorcist last weekend. Did you ever see it?
Russell Crowe on a moped?
Yeah. You ever see it?
No, it's on what, Netflix now or something, right?
Uh,
Well, you probably watched it on fucking.
yeah, we watched it on Netflix.
Okay.
The Plex server has been having issues and not working correctly lately.
Boo.
Yeah, it actually went down for a couple of days. We thought that because it's hosted out of Europe, out of a server place called Hetzner, and apparently like they're cracking down on pirating, streaming content stuff, and so we thought that it was just done. It's not ours. It's one of my brother's friends that runs it, and so we were like, well, if it goes down, it goes down, and it went down. It's like, well, I guess that's it. But then it came back up. So I'm not sure what's going on with it, but I haven't been using it much lately because it's been incorrect and uploading wrong things so much so lately. Anyway, I would say definitely check it out. It was surprisingly good.
Yeah, I wanted to see it.
It obviously in the trailers you get like it feels like more of a serious type of exorcism type movie, and it does have its points of that. But god damn it, Russell Crowe actually just cracks jokes in
Nice.
it, and it's so fucking weird. At one point, they're prepping for the first encounter with the demon, and you have this the local priest who is helping out, and Russell Crowe looks at him and goes, "Father, do you know any jokes?" And the priest goes, "No, I don't know any jokes." And he goes, "You should go learn some. Demons hate jokes."
Fair
I
enough.
was like, all right, this is the weird thing that we're going to get that's going to happen. And so he makes like little jokes and quips like that throughout the movie, and I'm like, this is weirdly breaks up the tension that's happening. The actual like story gets pushed like really fast. You go from like the beginning, kind of understanding why the people are there, doesn't really make sense, but let's just ignore that and keep moving. Then the kids get possessed, and then that's like literally the first 30 minutes, and then you're introduced to Russell Crowe's character, and then the movie follows him from there on after. But it's kind of cool because the way the movie ends is very much so like you could kind of feel like what they wanted to do with the Dark Universe for
Universal.
Universal, because you're like, oh shit, they're gonna make a franchise out of this. And sure enough, the last few scenes are like take place at the Vatican, where they're a bunch of like sisters, nuns, and other priests are like going through like a bunch of stuff that was found at the place that the exorcism happened, and they have like the priest from the place and Russell Crowe's character have this moment of like buddy cop type, yeah, let's go do this, and then the movie ends, and I was just like, are we gonna get a whole series of this? Because that would be kind of awesome.
They're gonna take over for two other priests that are highly sought after, but they jumped off a roof aiming for the bushes.
Yes. Yeah.
Mike.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And then it turns out we looked it up later. They are working on the Pope's Exorcist 2. So it legit is like they are making a franchise out of it.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe actually did a promo for that during WrestleMania.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, WrestleMania 39.
That would be weird.
Because it was at SoFi, so they have the big Halo thingy. They have the name for it, but I don't remember what it's called. The big screen. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember what match it was. Mike might remember. But he did the intro for it, and like it came up, and I was like, "Why are they doing a promo for the?" I mean, this is right around the time the movie was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I was very confused when it happened.
Yeah, and I was like, "Wait, that's actually Russell Crowe, like actually doing." I was like, "Oh shit, that's fucking gnarly." But it was pretty neato. But yeah, I wanted to watch that. I added it to my my watch list on Netflix. So
I'd say definitely watch it if you're looking for something to watch tonight. It has just the right amount of scary and creepy, and but obviously little bits of fun and funny in there.
that's good. Like
Yeah.
that Leslie Nielsen one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that took a second to remember. Yeah, not that funny.
Did you ever watch The Nun, Joe?
Yeah, I've seen it.
The Nun 2 will be out on Max on the 27th.
So next weekend.
Yeah, next Friday.
Next Friday. Okay, that's cool.
Just in case you want to have another spooky movie. We saw that one in theaters. That was actually pretty good too.
I do need another spooky movie to watch.
because they actually give you some actual story to go with it, not just she's a spooky bitch.
Well, yeah, because it's her origin essentially, right?
The second one is her origin, yeah.
Even though it's the sequel, it's actually her origin.
Yeah, and you find out why. Like you find out. Well, in the story, it tells you the reason that they're giving you the backstory because of what's happening in this one. But
Right.
I didn't realize that the actress they have that plays in those is actually the real life daughter of the chick that plays the Warren lady.
Oh,
What's her name?
really? I can't think of her name.
Ferna something or other.
Maybe.
Yeah. But when you watch it, you'll understand why I bring that up.
Okay.
And I felt dumb because I didn't know who it was. Like, I didn't know who she was. Not I feel dumb. I mean, obviously, I didn't really do research into it.
Right.
But yeah, when I was like, I saw it. I was like, oh, wait, hold on, what? Oh, that's cool. Makes sense why they made her who she is.
Right.
But there's a really creepy scene in it when like a goat creature is out and about,
Mm-hmm.
and like, well, it's just unsettling. I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. You probably should not do that ever again.
Right.
I don't like that.
Fair enough. He says. It's funny. At work, we had our quarterly meeting or whatever they want to call it for everybody, and they always like to do an icebreaker beforehand. And their icebreaker this time was like, "What's your favorite scary movie?" And it's funny how not a lot of people are really into scary movies, so they're just like, "Yeah, I don't watch scary movies, so I'm gonna name something else." And somebody named Bubba Hotep, and I was like, God damn, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Let me go dust off my fucking DVD here.
Oh yeah, Bubba
Go
Hotep.
watch that. What?
Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep.
It's good times right there.
Yeah, right?
I mean, where else can you see Bruce Campbell play Elvis Presley, who then battles with Black JFK against the Mummy?
That's who it was. I kept trying to remember who the sidekick character was in it. I remembered that it was a black guy pretending to be a dead president, but I cannot, or thinking he was a dead president, but I couldn't remember who it was.
It's JFK.
JFK.
They moved him into
Fucking
that body
hilarious.
to protect him because they knew the assassination was going to happen.
Yeah. God, that movie was fucking hilarious. Does any streaming service actually have that?
Let's find out.
Right?
I mean, because watching something on physical media,
I actually know where it is. I ran into it. It's in the box of DVDs that I have out in the garage right now.
That shit's in a melt, son.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
it says Prime can play it. I don't know if it's through one of the.
But if it's through one of the
Oh,
other
God.
apps, or if you have to still buy it or something like that.
Just turn that volume down real fast before it starts playing.
Yeah,
No,
we can't
it's
afford Bubba Hotep.
it's available.
It's available?
Yeah.
Might actually have to watch that.
All 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 14 seconds of it. Oh, included with Prime.
Sort
Yeah.
of, Bubba Hotep here.
It's good times.
Right?
Oh, have you watched any Gen Z yet, Joe?
No, that's the Boys spin-off show, right?
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of it yet. My brother has, and he says he absolutely loves it, and that I need to watch it. And I'm like, sure, I'll get around to watching it. Yeah, I love that he's like, man, it starts off with some of the most goriest thing ever, and he kind of explains it, and I'm like, that's how they began season 3, I think it was.
Yeah, the exploding penis.
Yeah, I'm like, so not exactly as gory as some of the stuff that they've already done.
I mean, I don't
But sure.
know if it's the same one, but I saw a clip where someone exploded someone, and then the next time I couldn't because I saw a clip. It wasn't the whole. It was completely out of context. But they went to go talk to the girl, and she's sitting there and she's completely covered head to toe, like Carrie style, like in viscera.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just standing, and you realize like she must have like been inside the person when they exploded him, because she's covered in it, and then around her is just the leftovers. I was like, oh, that's not going to come out in the first wash.
Yeah, right. Maybe not even in the second wash.
Mm-mm.
Somebody get some hydrogen peroxide and just start in the room in it. Apparently, that's how you clean up blood.
You just need to burn that room to the ground.
Or that too, you know. When does this take place within the boy's story?
I believe so. It has to do with the college that trains new soups. But it is, I believe, if I read it correctly, it's between the events of 2 and 3.
Okay.
Because
I know I've heard that it's kind of its own thing. It doesn't really address the events of the main show. But I was curious of where it actually takes place. If it is like more like a prequel type thing, then that's why it doesn't address the stuff of the main show, or if it is just a offshoot of its own thing, but still takes place sometime relatively within the show's timeline.
Yeah, it doesn't really say on here. I just like the premise is funny to me because it's young adult superheroes or soups are tested in battle royale challenges at the Godolphin University School of Crime Fighting, founded by Patrick Godolphin, run by Vought Industries. I don't think I know. Oh yeah, by the way, Mike, Schwarzenegger's kid is in it.
Like the
Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Whoa, what?
What does he do?
Schwarzenegger.
Cut out at a bad time in there, sir.
You cut out at that time. He plays Golden Boy, which sounds weird, but he has pyrokinesis and superhuman strength.
It's a weird name to call him Golden Boy for that type of stuff.
Well, I mean, it's probably because he looks like his father.
Yeah.
And if he's got super strength, because they always give him dumb names like Homelander,
True.
Queen Maeve, weird dumb names.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's a better explanation of when it takes place, because I know oh, excuse me, holy smokes. Because I know some of the soups show up in it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, because I know Homelander shows up in it. Soldier Boy shows up in it. Because they're sponsored obviously by Vought International, so like it's.
Yeah, but why would Soldier Boy show up?
Well, because he was remember he was
or
a
is
figure.
It just like a Captain America type thing?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's like
so
he does promos and stuff. Yeah, because remember he was the face of them until he decided to murder everything in sight.
Right. Yeah.
So they Winter Soldiered him. Spoiler alert, I guess.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I like how I said that after the fact.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can figure out when it was. Oh no, I'm sorry. It takes place after the events of season 3, before upcoming season 4.
Okay.
That's what it says. That means it's kind of in order, I guess, at that point.
Yeah. So I wonder if they'll address anything in the greater scheme of things towards the end of the season.
They probably will, because obviously a lot of shit hits the fan at the end of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it,
Right.
I mean, obviously a lot of it is covered up pretty well, but let's see. Oh god, Yahoo, ready for fucking 35 ads.
Gross. Why are you on Yahoo?
That was the first article it pulled up that actually that wasn't some rando fucking .net website?
Yahoo's the website that I go to when I test internet connections at work because I know no one ever goes to Yahoo, and so their computer won't have it cached already.
I used to use NASA.com.
Now, some people will go to that.
Yeah, well, those people are nerds.
I know.
Yeah, it
What
says
else
it's between
stories
3 and
do I
4.
have here? Anybody excited about the live-action Gargoyle show by James Wan?
With he's only producing it though.
Yeah, he's only producing it, but still, it's James Wan.
Keith David's coming back.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I guess
You gonna
he's.
play?
I mean, he's gonna voice him because I mean, it's. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna have him in a suit. It's gonna be some sort of CG.
No, they go full live action, but it's just rubber suits.
It's
Yeah.
the 90s Ninja
Ron
Turtles. It.
Perlman. Yeah, let's go.
No, they beast it.
Oh yeah, they. Which one? Ted Danson or Ron Perlman?
Ron Perlman.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, the better one.
Look at Mike, the better one.
Uh,
I just like the slow laugh that I got.
He didn't know if he was gonna be angry or like get excitement out of
I
it.
didn't know what route to take on that one. I was all like, do I go the alternate route here and defend my boy Ted? Nope.
Nope.
Defend my boy Ted Danson.
Ron Perlman was the better one. I don't know. I think it'll be cool. We haven't had anything. What was that?
I'm excited to see it. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's gonna be good or not. The cartoon was amazing.
I know, and we haven't really gotten any gargoyle stuff since then.
They just recently upconverted it, right?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Well, they just released the remaster of the video game.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I don't know if is the show been remastered on Disney?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, Disney's got the money.
But yeah, I'm definitely down for a live action. This could be something that they can, make every Halloween or whatnot. Release a new season then. Because it's already spooky, a little spooky and scary and whatnot.
I wonder how dark they're gonna play it though.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you could still go relatively light on it, still make it like a kids type show, but it'd still be a darker a kids show. Or you could go full on dark. I mean, because it is more of a show that older people would recognize than younger people. So you just play to that demographic and make it obviously not blood and guts type of stuff, but make it a more adult, darker, scarier show.
I mean, they could. Joe, did you ever see the Werewolf by Night?
Doesn't ring a bell, no.
It's the Marvel one.
Oh, is that the one where it had the knockoff versions of the gargoyles?
No. This is a Marvel Disney show they did.
Oh no.
The reason not that it had to do with gargoyles. I was looking up gargoyles and doesn't say anything about remastered on here about it. But I was gonna say they just re-released Werewolf by Night in color on Disney Plus. If you haven't watched it, it's pretty rad. The black and white one's pretty cool because it looks like one of those old pulp shows from back in the day where they use like the grayscale. Obviously they shot it in film or in color because that's what real life looks like. But they just they released a colored version of it, and the banner shows a Man Thing. Spoiler: he's in the show.
Zack Snyder did.
Yeah, it's pretty. But reversed it, I guess.
Well, yeah, because it originally was in black and white, now it's in color. Where Zack Snyder movie originally was in color, and then they released it in black and white.
Yep, the gray toned. Justice is Gray or whatever they called it. But yeah, that's another one you can watch during Halloween because it's got some pretty cool stuff in it. But it's a fun little story.
I'll have to look at it. I haven't been on the Disney Plus app in a long time, which is a good point to make out when Mike texted, what was it, yesterday or whenever, like what one streaming service could you live, you can cancel, what was it, cancel everything else,
Cancel
this one
everything
you
else.
can't.
Which one do you keep? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't watch any streaming service enough to really care, I guess.
I didn't have an answer. That's why I didn't answer back, because I'm like, I was thinking about it. I was like,
I'm doing it. I'm going ultra cheap this year.
are ya?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ultra cheap.
I mean, if you're going ultra cheap, I would almost say get Hulu and dump everything else, because at least then you have live stuff.
No, just in stream. I have to keep the satellite, because if I don't have all my sporting options,
Then his life ends.
then there's nothing left to do.
and also Jen will fight me too if I like.
Get rid of her nonsense.
Yeah, like her sport, dude. She got mad at me because I suggested we go out to dinner, and I didn't realize it was the start of the Suns season.
Oh, the Suns.
And she was like, "The fuck are you thinking?" I was like, "I got my dates mixed up, lady. Shit."
I'm sorry.
She got mad at me.
Down.
They record that shit, bro.
Yeah. Record that shit.
Not that this is a sponsored segment, but have you looked into the streaming through DirecTV, Mike?
No.
So they have that new Gemini box, which is a streaming one. It actually has apps built into it. But it's again it's not a sponsored segment. But if they would like to pay us, I'm willing to take their money. But it's much smaller box. It's all web based, so you don't actually have to have a satellite. You just have to have internet. Yeah, which is pretty rad. Benefits to that are, one is it has flash media, so there's no expanding hard drive in it. So it's quicker. On demand works way better. But also you have unlimited recording.
Oh shit.
Because it's all essentially just on demand. But if you want to record stuff, it just earmarks it on the servers, and so you can watch it whenever you want. That's pretty cool. And then because of that, because you're not worried about the signal coming in to record on the device because of said internet versus satellite. You can actually record multiple things at the same time without any interference.
That's cool.
Then it has a lot of there's like something to do with sports too, like score tracking or something like that. I can't remember what it was. I didn't read all of it because it was sports and I just didn't care enough. So
but the question would be is whether you get sports included in it, or if you have to pay for anything separate.
It's the same thing. So same as DirecTV. So it doesn't the package. I think is a little cheaper.
Pay for that package.
Yep, you get whatever. Sports. Yeah. So you still get it. It's just another option because with the hardware limitations being satellite and local storage, you don't have as much capabilities and stuff with
My
it.
only concern beyond that would be how, what's the term I'm looking for? How well does the interface work? Is it more like an Apple TV where everything is nice and fluid, or is it more like a Fire Stick where everything's like click and then wait a year for it to move over or load?
I used it at a client's house. That's the first time I actually interacted with it. The one drawback, so I use the DirecTV app on the Apple TV sometimes when I'm pulling stuff and I don't want to go to the DirecTV because I'm lazy and God, I have to switch the inputs. But and the Apple TV runs better than the DirecTV box does because it's older. But when I used it at a client's house last week or week before, whatever it was very smooth. And then it's Google powered, so you actually have voice assistant on it. So you can actually hit it and it pulls it up. But you have access, from what I saw, you have access to all the top streaming apps on there. So I saw Prime, I saw Max, I saw Netflix and YouTube. These are the only ones I saw on the front. I didn't go through the whole thing, but it was very responsive for what it was. At first I didn't even realize it was a streaming box until I hit the guide and realized the guide was different. And I was like, what the heck? And I opened up the cabinet, I see the box, and I was like, what the fuck am I looking at right now? What is this thing? And I see a little DirecTV logo, and I was like, what? I know I'm not in the home theater space anymore, but what the hell is this? So I looked it up later, and I was like, oh, that's the new Gemini box. I thought it was bigger than that, and I realized it's all flash media, so it doesn't need to be very big. It looks like this will help Joe identify the size of it. It looks like an external CD drive for a computer.
Okay.
That's the size of
That's
it.
pretty damn small. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still bigger than an Apple TV, but that's still small.
Yeah, it's very thin. Unlike newer Apple TVs, which are obviously a little bigger. But like the footprint is bigger, like it's wider than a Apple TV, but very small. Like just kind of you can kind of hide in there, and really just has an HDMI port. I think it has an Ethernet, like a hardwire, built-in Wi-Fi, obviously power cord, and I think there was an optical plug on it, but I couldn't. I might be mistaken about that.
Interesting.
But yeah, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. But then I was looking it up, and I was like, this is actually pretty neato, and would be a very good option if you're. Because the problem with satellite obviously is limitations of hardware and like the fact you're getting a broadcast from the sky, and oddly enough in Arizona we have issues with the sun, and if it's too bright at a certain time of year, a lot of times the reflection of it off the satellite will actually stop your signal from coming through properly.
Interesting.
And also because they have to be above things to be able to see the sky, when we have our horrific winds, sometimes it can shift it and like your satellite gets out of alignment and you lose channels because of it.
Yeah.
And obviously the limitation of having it basically be tied to your internet is your internet goes out, you lose your TV, right?
Yeah.
So I mean that's obviously a drawback there, but it's like also I don't know about Mike in his super rural area, but I don't know how much his internet goes out. But I know like during our storm, sometimes his power is not great.
What do you have?
Cox.
Yeah, so you're fine. It's not like he's running satellite internet.
Oh God, I hope not.
Yeah.
Starlink.
So he's relatively fine. Better than, Starlink. Better than better than running satellite stuff, but still not great because it is Cox. How is your super fast
Bro, dude.
jealousy internet running?
So this is a strange thing, right? So again, hashtag not a sponsor, but we'll likely take them up if they want to pay us. Wired is kind of dumbly amazing, and like I really am gonna miss it when I move because they don't have it in Colorado. Hopefully, I mean, which is weird because the company is actually based in out of Denver. But whatever. The parent company is not Wired Zona, obviously, because that's Arizona. But the number. So I remember when I first got it set up and I was doing updates on the Xbox. I showed you like the bandwidth I hit the other day. There was an update for a game. I can't remember what game it was. It was like 7.29 gigabytes. And at one point, because of my Xbox is hardwired, the transfer rate hit 900 megs.
Damn.
But it took roughly about 3 minutes for 7.5 gigs to be downloaded. So much so, though, I've never seen this happen on the Xbox. I had to look it up. The update had to go through a finishing process because it got the data so fast. It's like, we're not done setting this up yet. Like, you have to wait for this to be ready to go. I was like, what the hell?
Something that's done on the fly, but because you downloaded it so fast, it still had to catch up with itself.
Yeah, it's like, oh, shit.
Verify the data and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, that's a computer thing for sure. Like, that's something that happens on PCs and stuff. Like, oh, yeah, it's downloaded and whatever, we're finishing up the update because it's like, they have to take out the old files, blah, blah, blah. But oddly enough, the thing that I noticed the other day, which blew my mind, that was such a big difference, was an audiobook.
Okay.
So audiobooks are kilobytes.
They're very small.
They're very small, right? I used to think it was. I thought Audible was just kind of a shit download. Like I just thought they went for like the backest of back servers. They're like, hey, we're gonna give you this quarter of a fucking space to like transfer data, whatever, right? Because like you don't really stream. I don't think you can stream them. Can you?
I don't think so.
I think it's downloads.
Either. I think as soon as you like, at least in my experience, as soon as you click on it to open it, it just immediately downloads.
Downloads, right? Okay, yeah. So before, when I had Cox, I would hit it, and I'd have to leave the app open for it to download the book. It would just seem slow. I thought that was just their way of doing it, right? Until I got Wired, and then the books are like almost instantaneously downloaded.
Nice.
Because when I did it, I wasn't paying attention to it. I was doing those creature feature ones, the one that the Joe Hill and Paul Tremblay ones were, and they're short stories, they're novellas at best, so they're very quick. I haven't paid attention, but I was downloading, Becoming the Boogeyman, and it's the book itself is, or the audio book is 12-ish hours or something like that. Actually, it might be even longer than that. So it was a good couple megabytes or whatever, right? Like a 3 megabytes or whatever it happens to be, and it was like almost instantly downloaded. And they don't do if you pre-order something, they don't like pre-install it. It's only available the day, like that morning of, which is super annoying because like I would like to be able to like get it the night before or whatever,
Right.
but first world problems. But yeah, it was like I hit it and it was done, and I was like, wait, what's happening? I was like, what's going on? What's going on here? But I was like, that's the weirdest thing to like realize, like how bad Cox's internet was, that it would take multiple minutes for like an audiobook to download.
Mm-hmm.
But with Wired, it was just like,
Done.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what happened here? What age am I in? Like some Star Trek shit, dude.
The Wired age.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
That's cool. I can't wait for them to finally sometime roll out to us.
Yeah.
Literally only like a mile away from you, and still haven't gotten any indication that they're going to come out here. Literally,
the complex, the housing development next to you has it.
I know, right?
So weird. Yeah, so let me see what Dolly Parton book, Mike. What is this? My Life in Rhinestones, Mike.
Look, there's a whole chapter on Sylvester Stallone as their co-star.
Yeah?
Sure.
No, I don't know. I made that up. I would read that book if each chapter was just a different co-star. Burt Reynolds chapter, Stallone chapter, fucking Julia Roberts chapter.
Just everyone she ever acted with?
Yeah.
Let's try to see how big the file for Becoming the Boogeyman was, but it didn't show on here. It doesn't, not anymore, because it's already downloaded, so it doesn't show what the size of the file was. But it was pretty. It's about, the audiobook is 12 hours long. But I was blown away, man. I was like, what? Why is this such a stark difference on it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Not started. I finished all those. I hate when it does that shit. Joe, do you like true crime stuff?
Not really. I don't really read too much true crime stuff.
All right. Well, never mind.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say the Chasing the Boogeyman and Becoming the Boogeyman by Richard Chizmar, or his friends call him Chiz, are they're not real, which I didn't know, because I read the first one. So the reason I read it is because he did a book with Stephen King. Like technically, he did a trilogy with Stephen King, Gwendolyn's Button Box. So I was like, oh, I'll check this out or whatever. So I got the first one. It's really good because it's like, I'm not really big into like true, like real life crime stuff, whatever. I'm obviously into like fantasy fucking horror stuff, whatever. A la Stephen King and Joe Hill and all that fun stuff. But I was like, oh, check it out, whatever, because like he's a good friend with Steven, and like I fucking know who Stephen King personally, so I can call him Steven. But so I was like, I'll check this out. It seems, old Stevie King. So I was like, yeah, whatever, check it out. It like he pulls a Stephen King in it. First off, he makes himself the main character. So it's supposed to be based on this serial killer from the mid '80s in his hometown. That basically he was like kind of not really confronted by, like basically was like parallel to, and he was at the time based. The reason I thought it was real is because it's based on a lot of stuff in his real life. The fact, like, after he got out of college, he moved back in with his parents while his soon-to-be wife was going to medical school to help save money before they moved out on their own. He started his own publishing company called Cemetery Dance, which is his real company in the real life. So I thought this was all based on real things, and I was like, I'm looking up, I'm like, in the book, he talks about how he wrote the very first Chasing the Boogeyman book, and it didn't sell that well. because it was independent release and things like that. And then the version I'm reading now was the redone version after they had caught the killer, like 30 years later. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'll check it out. So I thought it was all real. And it turns out not. It's all fictional. It's all made up. I think he uses real life stuff, like where he grew up, which is not the real name of the town he grew up in, I believe. But all these different things. And I was like, I was so like, I had looked up this killer, the boogeyman, and like it didn't exist. And I was like, I'm so confused. Like, obviously he changed the name or whatever for like, so I was looking up. Nah, it turns out it's all made up.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, but the second one's really good too. I mean, if you want to check them out, I mean, I would do it. They're to me, I've never really read any of the true crime stuff because I'm not really into that stuff. Because like real life sucks and I like fantasy stuff.
And that's exactly why I don't really read true crime stuff, because I don't want to have to remind that stuff actually exists.
Yeah.
Out there.
So like that's kind of like I like this because I like what he did with the Gwynland series. So I was like, oh, I'll check it out, whatever. And Steven recommended it, so I was like, might as well, it's his homie or whatever. I'll check it out. And I burned through the first one, and I was like, man, I cannot wait for the second one. And I was like, okay. And the second came out, and I just demolished it, and I was like, where's the third one? No third one yet. Get to work, Rich.
Right.
Old Richie Chez. So yeah. So I mean, if you want to check it out, I recommend it. Pretty rad.
If I remember, I'll take a look at it. I am in between books right now. I just finished up the second book of Altered Carbon. I can't remember the name of it. Is something Angels. So I am looking for something. I just don't know what yet.
What'd you think of that one?
It was good. It was just so weirdly different than the first book.
Yep.
And what I was expecting from it because of the show, because of what I thought it would have been for what the show. How many seasons did the show go?
Two.
So obviously, I thought the second season of the show would have been the second book. Obviously not.
Nope.
It was just weirdly, and it just introduces like so much other weirdness to the universe, because obviously in this universe of the book and the show, you have the ability to like save yourself to the I forgot what they call them, but the thing on the base of your neck, and if your body dies, you can just like transfer yourself over, and so it has that weirdness already because of that. But then suddenly they throw in this book, apparently there was an ancient race of Martians on Mars, obviously because Martians, but they're like technologically advanced, but they're not there anymore. And so you have like archaeologists finding ancient Martian ruins there. So I was kind of confused. Like, I thought maybe they were talking about like, because obviously this takes place many years in the future. So I thought they were talking about like maybe the first generations of Earth people moving to Mars, but no, they're talking about like
Martians,
actual alien Martian people that existed on Mars way before mankind, and they're finding like all these high tech things there. But then there's also like a war going on at the same time on Mars between like I think rival corporations, if I recall right, and rival gang factions. And then they find basically a Stargate that teleports them to a Martian warship across the known universe somewhere, and that even at the end gets attacked by it's derelict at this point. There's no Martians there. What they do find for Martians are long since dead, but it also gets attacked by another alien species. At the time that they're there, it manages to automatically fend itself off. And I was just like, what is this book? Like, it's cool, and it's weird, but like, I was not expecting any of this going into it. So it's definitely worth a read if you haven't read it already. But it's just like I was just in it for more, detective intrigue and stuff, and I didn't get any of that in the second book. It was more of like an action adventure archaeology type thing, but in space. So it was cool.
Yeah.
But it just was not what I was expecting out of that series at all.
Yeah, I didn't read the second one because I found out the second season wasn't based on the second book, and I was like, well, I'm good.
Yeah, and then if the third book goes back to what more like the first book, it's like what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
How was the second season? I never watched the second season.
It was okay.
I remember it being very okay.
The problem with the second season is, remember how in the first season you were like, for the most part, you were completely lost on what was actually happening, like the whodunit and what it was. The second one tried to do that, but with like this other. I mean, obviously they couldn't do a cookie cutter like this is exactly what happened in the first one, but it was like this. They tried to delve more into his past. And like the people he was with, those freedom fighters, whatever, and it just didn't have the same, I don't know, feeling to it. Like it wasn't like like Joe said, it was less of like detective whodunit, and more of just, hey, this is all the horrible shit you did in the past coming back to fucking get you, type thing. Right. And I was like, oh, and it didn't have to do with like Anthony Mackie being bad or anything like that. It's just they went to a new planet. And it kind of just was like so muddled down with stuff, and like it just seemed too bogged down because they were trying to throw too many things in there, I think. Mm-hmm. But like when you get to the end of the first season and like you find out that it's his sister, mm-hmm. and like she's like, spoiler alert for a show that came out fucking like 10 years ago. It wasn't 10 years ago, but like she's one pulling all the strings, and she's like a horrible fucking human being. And you're like, well, I feel bad for him because now he has to like RoboCop has to do something about this. You know what I mean?
What was RoboCop? Yeah, the second season.
Well, he's talking about the
first. About the first season.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because Captain America was the second season.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then when you go to the second season, and you don't really have that same type of mystery to be dealing with. It's a slightly different one. It has to do with like I don't know. It wasn't as good. It just seemed like they tried. I think they tried to rush it. Tell you the truth. I mean, they just tried it so hard. And it wasn't even like at first. I was like, I kind of miss RoboCop. You know, I mean, as being the character.
Not anything against Anthony Mackie, but
yeah,
like,
it just wasn't this. And the problem, I think, the real big difference is. Because it was a different actor, and I think they just let him be a different character, which made no sense to me because he's still the same person, just in a different sleeve.
But even in that, they still reintroduced like the original Takashi Kovacs as well a lot more in season 2.
Yeah.
So you were dealing with that, like, okay, he's the same person, but he looks different.
Yeah.
In different situations. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very strange. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, the problem with the premise of the show obviously leaves it open to where you can replace them all the time.
Yeah, you can Doctor Who them all you want.
Yeah, the first season was so cool though that you're like, I want more of this.
Yeah, you could have just stayed there for a little bit longer and played more into that, and then eventually Doctor Who them as soon as what's his name? As soon as RoboCop was kind of like, I'm done with this now. Okay, we're moving on to the next one.
And you could have even played it to where like we see Joel Kinnaman and everyone else sees somebody different. You know what I mean? I know that wouldn't have made sense because that's not the original person, obviously, but they could have done something to that effect.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Anyways, all right. Producer's giving us the wrap-up signal. So that's it for this episode. This has been Comes Naturally. We have been
Joe.
Mike.
I have been Cody. And as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.
Mike just waves.